I hear you, Don. Why is it? Appreciate it, Steven. What's going on, bird dog? Just trying to edit this out, or not edit, but just get it where it needs to be. See, I'm playing the pass on today, so I don't think I might have to make a decision here. All right, guys, this is gonna look a little. What's up, Ken? Yep, before the Vegas trip, you got it. All right, it's gonna look a little weird for a second, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. Let's move you up one and see what happens then. All right, move that to there. There we go. It's a little short on this side. This side. So if it's short on this side long. I feel like that looks good. All right, guys, I can't see you. Hold on quick. So I just gotta get this going. Once we get this going, woo, you are dirty from the construction. All right. All right, that looks good. All right. Last thing, guys. All right, boys. Let's get her locked in, tightened up. Feel like that looks good. Just need to confirm it. It's kind of funny. You type in Drunk Guy Explains into YouTube, and Arch Staten's podcast is the first one that pops up. It's kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny. All right. Everything looks the way it's supposed to look. All right, that goes there. About to say PSO, there's a reverb a little bit, still a little bit of reverb. It's probably because of the microphone. All right. Now that with the camera's good and all that stuff, probably because the reverb, first of all, the installation probably kills a little bit of the reverb, but understand that like it's a 25-foot by 35-foot metal building. So it's probably, and it's still empty, except now it's got, you know, a split unit out there. In fact, I get to take my hoodie off here in a minute because I cranked it up to 73. So I'm actually really comfortable right now and actually a little warm. So let me get my liquor, and my mixer, and my cup, and then we're gonna roll for a while, guys. All right, we're gonna have a session. Hey, see y'all in a second. go ahead and kill that bottle. And just a splash of this bottle. And half a Dr. Pepper. I'll take a little sip just in case. A little hydration before some dehydration. All right, I'm just gonna do a little shaky. Mother's milk. All right, don't need glasses. All right, what's going on, KP? All right, guys, let's get a little personal here. All right, these are all my dice. Some from casinos, some of them I ordered, and I love them. All right, so I saw KP out there. KP, give me 2 dice. No matter which ones, just give me 2 of them. As we wait 10 years. I know you're there, KP. Just give me 2 dice. 2 green. You got it. All right. We got ourselves. This is just says Las Vegas. Not. There you go. It's Circa dice, and looks like these 2 are Bellagio dice. So we'll go with Circa. JPBCPS says blue and red. Superman. So we can line these up. Boom. And I guess since Georgia won the national championship, we'll do black and red for the rest. Boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So potentially 11 shooters we got dice for. All right. So this is going to be a little bit different session today. And I'm going to tell you guys right now. Probably do some recovery, do some DGE. Well, I guess it's all DG. But we're going to do some recovery videos. I'm going to do a little bit of wild gameplay. And I want you to know my purpose before I do this, because I think a lot of videos, they'll sit here and say, well, this is what I meant to do after the fact. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do beforehand, but so there's no discussion about, like, you know, what was I trying to do. I'm going to start out with a $20,000 bankroll. So I'm taking to Vegas $100,000. I don't know if they're going to give me a private taper or not, but I'm going to start at $20,000 bankroll, and we're going to figure out how much, I guess the best way to say is, how much buffer room do I really have at 20,000? And I already kind of have an idea what I have, but I'm going to play a little wild, play a little crazy, and kind of see where my my wiggle room is, okay? So that's number 1, okay? Number 2 is I'm hoping that if I play wild and crazy, I'll get myself in a bad situation and I get to show a recovery from that situation. So that's my goal number 2. And then goal number 3 is to drink and, yeah, just drink. I don't know, drink and play craps, I guess. Answer questions that you guys got. I know it's been a while. So, really excited. There's a snowstorm coming in this year, or this thing, but I'm sitting in 73-degree metal building, insulated, and feeling great, all right? So let's go ahead and start her out. I guess the first thing I need is a rack, Charles. Sorry, like I said, I had to put everything out of this shop and bring it all back in, so everything's kind of scattered. Let me go get a rack. All right, now that we got the rack, got some more pinks just in case. Some salmons. All right, 5, 10, 15. That's 20,000 right there. And I'm gonna let you guys know, like, realistically, you know, a lot of this is not gonna be in use. The reason why I'm taking 100,000, if I can get them to do a private table, that's gonna, you know, be awesome. If they don't do the private table, then I guess I got a hell of a lot of reserves. But you know, if they allow the private table, then I'm gonna sit here and play a certain way. If they don't, then whatever. All right, 1,600, 700, 800, 900, 950, and 75. Boom. So that's 20,000 right there. Make sure I don't put this. What did I just do? 15, 18. Yeah, so this is definitely the house. Gotta make sure. Now, hopefully you guys are doing good today. Hopefully the craps are treating you well. I'm gonna do this exactly, private table or not. I really hope they let you record your action. If they don't, I can always go to a different casino and do something a little bit differently in my 4 days there. I really would like Park MGM to do it. I would even say I would allow, hey, you know, if I do this amount for X amount of time, can we do 30 minutes, you know, of that session? So we don't really know. I'm gonna play essentially what I've declared I'm gonna play. And on top of that, I'm gonna try to treat it as accurate as possible, guys. Accurate as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and just get it going. I'm not gonna do anything until first 7 anyway. I think you guys know that. I'm actually gonna roll that first 7. So 10, 6, 4, 8, 8, 10, point made. Come on, guys. 8, 9, 7 out. All right. So we just had a first 7 out with our Circa dice. Still on Victoria. And so 20K bankroll. I even think this is a little bit too heavy, but we're gonna sit here and, all right, 156 and 8. She is working. That's a 9. We're going to just turn this into a 909. As a deuce, second roll is a 9. So let me think about this. Lose the 1,000, but get 100 back. 900 pays 600, which is a $30 vig. So you're actually getting point is the 9. That's 5% of bankroll. So let's go to 1,000 on the dome. I can already tell that was a little bit too 7. Yeah, that was a little bit too pressured. So I can already tell you that part. It's an 8. And see, this is where we're going to get into a lot of where they're going to allow. That's an 8. Where they're going to allow me to sit here. Come on, DGM. Where they're going to allow me to, you know, make higher betting. Is it a special table? X, Y, and Z. Oop. That's a 5. And the true question is, I don't know. I mean, I don't see here. I don't know what they're going to allow or not allow. I think that was a wash. 2, 4, 5. Yeah. Made maybe $100 off that, if even. Okay. Off. So I can already tell you right now, just on that little, like I said, a little bit of practice session, a little bit of talking, and you already know that that right there, that 5 and 9, isn't going to work. That's 300 down. Lost. And let's go ahead and go, it's another, man, I love it. You know, this is the biggest thing. When you're practicing at home, you want to test and stress your system. Pays 350. And yeah, I mean, you can have some really positive rolls. You can have some really great rolls at home and, you know, get you prepared for, like, you know, confidence booster. But to me personally, and this is just, what's going on, Dale? To me personally, it really just comes down to, hey, like, you want to pressure it. You really want to pressure your system. You really want to pressure everything about it. So in saying that, if you have good rolls in a practice session, that's amazing because it teaches you as well. But you want bad rolls. You want to sit here and see, okay, what's the worst case scenario? So 4-4, so 2 points made. I'm going to start with $100 on the don't. 9. I like the 9 on the third unique. I'm going to go to $300 on odds. That's a 7 out. So 1 pays 1, 3 pays 2. So right there, that was $300 made right there. And this is where I'm going to get my mindset essentially for Vegas as well. I just made $300. I just made $300 right there. So I'm up 300. So let's just do a 156 and 8 working. That's a 3. We're going to keep it going. That's an 8. Pays 175. Right here we're up 350. No, 3. So 475 is what we're up. Since we're up 475, I know we're up 475. We're going to see here and down, cover the inside. I guess I don't need that anymore. That's an 8 point. That's an 8 again. These are now off. Once again, guys, I only play when it comes to the first point, 8 again. A lot of people make that mistake. They're like, oh, I kept going, or someone rolled 2 7s and then the point was established. I'm like, that's all revolve around the first point. And here's another little thing. Okay, so you see right here, we're on our third point 8, but you notice that I'm not doing any crazy things on the don't. Why? Because it's those inside numbers. Your margin is very thin there. So 3 8s being made to me isn't really a lot of significance because I want 2 or 3 unique points to be made. 7 out, nothing happened. So this is still based on the 3 or 450 I've made or 475 I've made. I'm gonna bring this down, but instead of going back to 300, I'm only actioning a portion of what I've made. So understand I'm doing a 25, 5, and 9, and a $60, 6, and 8. And look what's happening here, guys. Like, I've made 475, but I only have $150, $170 actioned out here. So even if 7 does happen, I'm still in a good position because I'm taking profit off the table. So boom, got paid 70. I'm actually gonna reduce this down since I got paid 70. I have 80 out there. So I only have $10 of previous profit invested into it. And I have a 5 out of 36 and 2 4s out of 36, which is 8. So 13 out of 36 is now locked right here to hit for 1. So hit an 8, all good, auto off, point made. And we kind of rinse and repeat. 6 is the new point, still an inside number, not really for me phasing. Points off. Once again, I've made 475 plus 70, so now I'm at 540. So I've made $540. And I'm once again going to reduce it down over and over and over again. I'm reducing it down a second time. And so now I have $60 out of 540 invested in this. Boom's a 6, pays 35. And now, realistically, I don't even care if the 8 stays up because, once again, I have it invested into this system. I think we just made an 8 too. So, turn this off. And just let the 8 run for 2 rolls. If nothing happens, then this is now off. It's going old school. 4, nothing happens. And this is what I'm talking, 6 points. So this is what I'm talking about, guys. You got to sit here, and if you're going to take a stab, also regress, learn something from it, and then also take it back. So like, for instance, if you say, boom, I make a stab and make $400, and your next stab is a stab for $200, and your next stab is for $100, and your next stab is for $50, and nothing bad goes along the way, look what you just put in position for yourself. You mitigated risk because you drew back profit. You, second of all, you invested into the system, profit from the first system. So you're on a third level. If you do get swacked with it, you're still coming back at it and chasing it with profit from level 1 and 2. So you can sit here and play with those numbers way easier. So I'm gonna do a $100 doll. 10. I like the 10. It might be the second or third any point. I can't remember if I was gonna keep count. I've been talking a lot, but I'm gonna put a big old fat 300 right here. It's part of my profit. It's part of what I've been doing, so it's not too bad. But I get $150 to play with. Technically, I get $250 to play with if you count this 100 as well. But I'd keep that kind of separate just for right nowsies. I'm gonna cover the 6 to the 9 on the inside. Screw the 5. We don't need that 5 for anything anyway. And let's go. Let's see what happens, guys. So first one's an 8, pays 70. I'm actually gonna do a little sideways thing here. 70, I'm actually gonna keep I'm dropping the 9, reducing this by $50. So now I have 250 here. And one more time, we'll regress and let it play itself out. 7 out, all right, so we lose this, not a really big deal. That's 100, we're just gonna pay for this 100. 250 pays 125, and guys, we're still in a great profit scenario. So, you know, understand that, and I know I beat a dead horse with this, but I'm like, you know, where are you going? Where are you going and where are you trying to end up? Because that's, for me, one of the biggest things in helping plan my next bet is where are you going and what amount you're gonna go with. And I'm up $2,000, you know, understand that I might play more conservative than I would when stuffing in here. Now, usually you say, well, Charlie, you know, you play with 5,000, you play pretty conservative. I'm like, yeah, but understand, if I'm up $2,000, well, I'm playing conservative DG or aggressive DG with $2,000. And the easy way to think about this is that if you have 5,000 starting out with and then you make 2,000, a lot of times with my mentality, I'll sit here and say, okay, well, this is conservative DG that got me to here, or moderate DG that got me to right here. Well, now that I have this $2,000, I'm gonna sit here and play aggressive DG with this 2,000, but understand this 5K is locked. So if I bank on an aggressive DG right here, and then boom, I still have this to come back with it. Now I can sit here and be aggressive and try to recoup it. I can sit here and say, you know what, I'm gonna go back to conservative DG, because conservative and moderate DG got me the 2K in the first place. So, a lot of questions you need to ask yourself constantly. And if you ever go to the casino with me or see me here at home, you notice that I'm constantly looking at my racks, constantly looking at my levels, constantly looking at my bankroll, because bankroll is where it goes. Now, listen, Circa has treated me well. KP, thank you. And now we're gonna give it up to the spirit of the side. We're gonna retire these over to here. And we're gonna pick up Bellagio now. And once again, you know, I'm gonna sit here and wait till 7, points to 10. It's not gonna matter, 5. 7 out. That was easy, quick, all the good stuff. All right, and so let's see what I'm at here right now. So that should be, and that's 2. So right here is where my initial bankroll. So I'm already up about 5, 6, 7. Let's just say almost $800. I'm up 800. 7's just happened. Now that 800 has happened in about 3 shooters. So let's go ahead and take a moment to chew. You know, you got to chew for the chaw. Ooh, mother's milk. All right, so, you know, what's your mindset right now? And so, how many people we got watching this junk? All right, DGM, old school. Don, are you here? So this is a good, not a tutorial, but Don, are you in this one? If so, Don, you're up $800. What would you do? We're gonna take a little sabbatical. We're just gonna sit for a second, talk about it, wait for Don to respond. That's 5, and that's 1,000. So I'm gonna go ahead and get 1,000. Dre! All right, so that's 1,000. Just gonna clean the rack a little bit. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. If he doesn't, give it a second more, and then obviously you just keep going. So, you have $800. You're up 800. Okay. So you're like, all right, that's titties. Okay, that's 5, 2, 4, 5, and 2, 19,000. Hell yeah, I want some Baltimore Raven chips. Come on out, son. Don took off. You dang right, he did. All right, so you're up $800, okay? So in a couple shooters, you've banked $800. Now let's just kind of scale this down. So let's just say I pretty much used 860, 6 and 8, 25 doing. Daryl, or DGM, has said do a $60, 6 and 8, a $25, a $25 boom off 800. So the first thing I would do, okay, so basing off that kind of mentality, I'd say, all right, well, I'm gonna be up 100. So let's just go ahead and say 5, that's 8, this is locked. So before anything, I know that basically from here over is exactly where my profit is. So I'm gonna sit here and say, okay, 800. You never want to action all your profit in one roll. Why? Because you just don't. You never know what's going to happen. You got to chase it down, and you don't want to start out with an initial starting level of $800 anyway. So 800's already out the door. So I'm gonna see here in my mind, I'm like, all right, let's fourth it up to 200. So we have 4 banks of 200, okay? So now, before anything, I say, okay, I got $200 that essentially I wanna start my operation with if I was going to make a stab, okay? So at 200, I sit here and say, well, my bet at this point would be working a 6 and 8 or the inside. So I'll sit here and do this. I'm left with 100. I'm not a big fan of putting evens all the way, and the reason why is because put more money where it's more probable. So the 7 is the most probable, then the 6 and 8, 5 and 9, and the 4 and 10. So I wouldn't do 50-50-50, I'd scale it down. So let's do a 25-25 and then a $60 6 and 8. So we're now under the 200 mark, but it doesn't matter because we're at 170, so it's still right there. We're all playing with profit. I like the action because it's 5 and 5, 4 and 4, so you're looking at 18 out of 36 to hit. I'm liking that. And then, boom, let's do an offset right here. Now I'm doing all this with the profit I've made. I have 20,000 behind. What's up, Eminem? I'm 20,000 behind. So I mean, we're in a great position here, okay? Boom, on. 12, nothing happens. And because of the bankroll, I'll let it go for one more. 5 pays 35. I'm gonna drop the 5. Point becomes the 5. So I've made $35 over right now. But once again, guys, we're still in profit. So once again, I'm gonna have the same mentality saying, okay, I'm up $835 now. Okay, I have 135, basically $50 out there. What do you want to do? Okay, so the first thing I'll probably want to do is say, well, I'm still playing with profit. So let's just go ahead and do a 210 odds. Covers this. You're now 14 out of 36. Still gives you money. 5. All right. So, of course, bad news always means bad news. Okay, so 210. So let's just say that's 210 lost. It is 210 lost. So now you're down 600. Your bankroll is now $600. You see this? From this black to all the way over, all the way to here, and then boom. So you see here and say, okay, well, I don't need this anymore because that only operates under 1 point. So that's pointless. So you can go ahead and revert that back or turn it off. Doesn't matter, depending on if you want to kill the dealer or not. I've lost $210, the point has been a 5, but once again, you have to consider your bankroll. So I'm still playing in profit, and let's say I've already had the mentality, which I am having the mentality that I said, hey, I'm starting this thing off with playing my bankroll, playing a little bit more aggressive. If I get in trouble, then we'll do a recovery, okay? So 1's been knocked, 2, 20K, we're still obviously in profit, still obviously doing good. So 5's a good number to hit, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do a 225 right here. Maybe if I could count, it would actually be 225. 225 right there on the dome. And let's see what happens. 5. So 5 is hit again. So in saying this, look what's happening. I got 210 invested. So I got a total of 225. So I got a total of 435 in. I have a profit of 835 if you remember. So right now I'm still up $400. No reason to get crazy here when you're still up $400. I'm not going to put odds on it. I'm not going to keep pressuring it. If I hit this, I'll make $15 and still be up $845. 8 does nothing. 5, see? All right, so now, second time a 5's been hit. We have 225, so a total of $435 is out. And now, let's go ahead and just dip into our little profit a little bit, shall we? And so now I got $500 right here. So now we have $935 invested into it. We're down 65 bucks, and we're gonna see how it plays. 8, I'm gonna keep the 8 because we're on a third point, second unique point, and at the end of the day, we're only 100 bucks of our actual profit. Boom, hit an 8, and I'm gonna do 1,025 on the dome. 7 out, of course. 2,055. 9, we are now on the fourth point, third unique point. 6, 7 out, and 5. All right, so once again, we've sat here and hit it. We've gotten paid off. And of course, just like always, check your bankroll, check your management, see where you're at, and rinse and repeat. So, That's exactly 20,000. So now I know all my pinks are my initial bankroll. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just say we're up $1,000. So since we're up $1,000, once again, and it's the same question over and over. Where are you going? What do you want to do? And how do you want to approach it? So first of all, gotta chew. Delicious. All right, we're up $1,000. So right now, we're up 5%. Okay, so I think I'm gonna stick to my initial plan. We've had some run sevens, we've had something like that. Actually, you know what? I'm not. Because you know what we haven't had? We've had a multitude of shooters, and we haven't had it come out 7 yet. That means double sevens. So I'm actually going to, because of the bankroll, once again, guys, it always comes down to the bankroll. Because of the bankroll, I can still float it, but I'm gonna reduce down to a $30.68. 9 off, and I'm essentially telling everyone, hey Charlie, I'm heading down to meet my dude. Yeah, have fun, dude. 5, keys Don, 11. And so essentially, what I'm doing is I'm telling myself like, hey, double sevens haven't happened yet. There needs to be double sevens in here somewhere, 9. And so I'm holding off on this strat until I see those double sevens. Now, am I still going to go back to other strategies? Absolutely. But 6. That was a 7-6, by the way. But it's still the second point. 5 does nothing. 10 does nothing. 7 out. Once again, turning on, but understanding that I'm pretty much essentially planning for double sevens. 10 again. Turn off. What are we learning today? Bankroll management, essentially. I mean, that's my biggest thing is bankroll management, 7. And, you know, a lot of times when talking about stuff like this, I'm telling you guys, like, yeah, see, double sevens. So, boom, that's a cool little crow hop, too, if y'all saw that. See if it shows it. Anyways, it doesn't matter. So, boom, finally hit my double 7, which I was waiting for. And a lot of times, if you're playing it right, you're going to hit it soon. I mean, you're going to find it. So, it's not like you're waiting this astronomically long time for it. $60.68 working. That is an 8. Pays 70. So right there we made $5. And we've hit our double 7, which is always fun to hit. You gotta play. Like, see, let's see here. Let's just make a little 2. Quad 7s it shouldn't have gotten you, but it would definitely make you feel not fun. That's for damn sure. Because even with a 5K bankroll, you should be able to survive. What was the table, if you don't mind me asking? 8 point made. What was the table odds? Yeah, exactly. 8 again. 8 again. So 2 pates have been made. But notice I'm not reaching for chips, putting on the don't. We're just going to let it fly. 7 out, doesn't matter. 8 again. 6. Inside's been getting destroyed. 7 out. All right, so we're going to do, I feel like we've had a double 7 before. Let me know about those quad 7s. Whoever messaged saying quad 7s, 6. Tell me what your bankroll was and what the table odds were, table minimums and maximums. So that's off now. $15 table mark. What's the bankroll? 4. See done? 11, 6 point. Oh, well, yes, absolutely. I would actually. 4 7s will destroy that. 8, 7 out. And here's the question you should always tell yourself, guys. If you're using my system, and this might be counterproductive to YouTube, but like if you're using my system, even if you have a smaller bankroll than 5K, right? It is literally just take the range. So for instance, if I told you, Mark, or Matt, I can't remember now, who's Matt? Mark. So Mark, if you're sitting here, want to use a DG strategy, but you have a lesser bankroll, all you gotta do is find the end. So for instance, if I say, okay, with a $5,000 bankroll, I should be able to survive 5 7s, right? Savvy? So that means that come out roll, or excuse me, 7 out. And then for me with a 5K bankroll, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So boom. Now, if you're sitting here, let's say with a $500 bankroll, and you're like, your goal is still just to survive 5 sevens, you gotta look at the total number of sevens and then back bet it. So for instance, if I was you, I'd sit here and say, okay, well, for me to survive 5 sevens, come out, or 0.7 out, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 come out sevens, right? You need to figure out this last bet and then back, that still makes you profit, and back bet it and see how long you have to wait. You'd be surprised how helpful that is for bankroll management. Just saying, where's the dice? There's the dice. All right, we've already hit these a couple times, so greenies are done. We're now moving into blue and reds. And by a stroke of luck, it's already shown a 7, so I'll just go ahead and turn these on. 5. Now notice in the very beginning of this video when I had 20K initially, 7 out, I sat here and started a 156 and 8 and started scaling down. Notice that now I went from 35, hit up to a $60 6 and 8, and now I'm ramping up. And so the reason why is like, it's just playing and fiddling with your profit, essentially. It's basically a lot of churning butter and a lot of profit play. That was a 4, first 4 thrown, 12, doesn't matter. 8, you know it's kind of crazy, I'm pretty sure, yeah, these are both dice that I ordered. Exactly, Power Press. These are both dice I ordered, these aren't casino dice, and coming from the Bellagio and the Circa dice that I've been using, it's kind of wild because these do feel like lighter. Like they feel lighter. They're the same size, but they definitely feel lighter. They do not feel like casino dice. Just food for thought. 3, that is a 6, that's gonna pay 70. And once again, you're like, okay, well Charlie, you made 70. Like, you know, what are you gonna do? All I'm gonna do is press $30 each. How about I do that correctly? Press $30 each and turn off. And so now it's a $90 6 and 8, but I'm scaling it with it. And so if I hit one more time, I'm probably gonna turn off for a double 7, but at the same token, I'm sitting here just trying to inch away profits. And look what I'm doing. And I want you to really understand, guys, like what am I doing? A 20K bankroll that I've made $1,000, and it took 3 hits for me to scale up to a $90 6 and 8. And that's the thing. I've said it a billion times, is that treat it like a job, not like a paycheck. And so essentially, there's no amount of me buying my way out of problems here, okay? And even though I got a huge bankroll, notice I'm not trying to manhandle the bankroll either. Like it's still the same motions, just with a little bit more buffer room, all right? And I say that to protect y'all, because don't think you're going to swing in big borrow chone talking big, you know, and do big bets. I don't do big bets. In fact, and I say this over and over and over again, at the first Drunk Guy Explains Craps meetup, all right? We had 2 sessions for a grand total, I think, of 14 bankrolls. I think was the total bankrolls used in DGE. All of them made money, 100% retention. 100%, we all made money, okay? Now in saying that, I had the biggest bankroll out of everybody. I had $20,000. That was the biggest bankroll at the DGE meetup, was my bankroll. At that meetup, I was the smallest bet on the table. I want y'all to think about that. I was the smallest bettor out of all of our group of degenerates at the table. So don't think that, you know, I'm coming in to make these huge swinging bets. It's because I'm having this huge swing of money. Nope. No, it is not. So food for thought. Just food for thought. 5, let's turn these off. 6, 5 point. 3, 6, or 12, 5, 7 out. Now, I'm gonna make a prediction here, guys. A side bet with the house. This is my side bet, all right? I think in the next, I'm gonna bet $100 my hard-earned craps cash. Do you ever split a recovery bet using 1 DP and 1 DC? I don't do the DP-DC. The reason why is because if I play with DC, kind of doing like a Hank the Tank kind of motion, I'll play with that a little bit differently than the DP. And the reason why is that essentially what all you're trying to do with the DCB is try, or DCBT if you're gonna get real technical, don't come bar 12 is actually the official title of it. If you're gonna try to do that game bet and do a moving don't pass line bet, it's for the purpose of odds, and you'd have to have a pretty big bankroll to do something like that. I've done it in the past, but a lot of times it just leads you down a progression road that takes time. And if you have a long roll, it's a lot of math to keep going with it. So it's easier just to keep on the don't pass bar and put odds on it, roll it into another progression, roll it into another bet, X, Y, and Z. But I am going to do a side bet, okay? Side bet of 100. I don't think that. I'm trying to. Side bet of $5. This side bet of $5, I'm going to say in the next five shooters that a 4 or 10 point will be rolled and made. 5 shooters. 7. All right, so it's dual 7s. I'm going to turn this on. That is an 8. So no matter what, I lost that one because it's 0.8, so this shooter can't do anything. That's going to pay 105. I'm actually going to sit here, and because we just got double 7s and got love on it, we're going to sit here and move this to a 150 and off. 3, 8, ooh, point. Oh wait, this shooter can still roll a 4 or a 10. 7, when it's off. Deuce. 8 again. It's not really affecting anything, but still. 5, 7 out. All right, so that's the first shooter. We'll keep these off. That is a 7. Now we turn on 5. All right, this is where I'm gonna get a little bit aggressive. Okay, I told you guys I'm gonna play a little bit more aggressively. I'm just letting y'all know. Maybe, hopefully, to push myself into a tight spot and do a recovery. So I got 150, 200, 230, 240 out there. I'm actually just gonna do a 300, no 5, and keep these going. It's an 8, pays 175. That 175 I just made. All right, so let's just think about this safely, because once again, guys, it's all about taking the money back, all right? That's awesome, Power Press. That is awesome. The biggest I've ever seen someone make, the biggest run, was someone took around a couple $1,000s and ran it up to 50K. And he did it all on one number, the 8. All in the 8. He took a $300 8, ran it up to a $3,000 8, and kept hitting that 8 and just getting $3,500, $3,500, $3,500, $3,500. Eventually, the entire table was begging this person, he didn't speak English, begging this person to spread it. Because the odds of that man, he hit like 15 8s, but the odds of him hitting more 8s, just spread it out. And he moved it one time to the 6, hit it for 3,500, and then took it all down. So that's the biggest run. So I don't need any of this. So I just made 175, all right? So you're like, okay, that's pretty good, Charles. Point's still a 5. I still want to play. Maybe we have a hot shooter. Maybe we have a long roll. So let's see here. I'm just going to reduce it down and press as we go. 8 pays 35. Bring in $5. 6 pays 35. Once again, bring in $5. 7 out. This all goes away, doesn't really matter. That's the second shooter that did not roll it. And we're gonna go. That is a 6. That's a 9. That's a 10, first 10 thrown. 4 thrown. 6, point made. We got a 10 and a 4 going. Let's go ahead and get that abacus going, shall we? A little product source right there. Shoo. All right, so we got a 10 and a 4. 6 again. 5, 5, 5, triple 5s, quad 5s, 8, 7 out. Oh gosh, my bet, my prediction. Double 7s. That's 3 double 7s. So I'm actually going to not bet because I think a trip 7's coming now. So we've had three double 7s, and now I'm playing on a triple 7. 8, 9, 7 out. One more shooter. All my love is on one. Double 7s. Still waiting for a triple 7. 5. 5 point make. Give me a 4, 10. 8. 8. All right, well, can't wait forever, guys. And we're gonna put this offset pass, don't pass to 5 again. I like that so much. I'm gonna put $75 odds against 10. There's one of the 10s. 4, there's the 4. 9, let's go ahead and give me another 6. 6, we'll go ahead and bring this down. 4, there's the other 4. I just moved that to a wrong location. This is the 4, go. 5 point. 3 craps. Yo, 11. 6 is the new point. Not doing anything on that 6. That is a 6 point made. So I want you to see what's happening here. We've made 4 points, 3 unique points. Let's see here. 9, need a 9. I'm absolutely going to get involved in this 9 for 300. I have seen whaling strategies. Some of whaling strategies look a little bit like mine in some of the regards. I'm not gonna lie, but seems like a really great guy, and you know, I hope for the best for him. You know, like any other craps person. 5, 7 out. Well, guys, I lost the $5. Just letting y'all know that right now. See, I can lose money, but I won $200 right here. So I'm 200 up just in that progression. You see how gentle that was? See how patient that was? You see how nonchalant that was? You see how it's just easy just to click in $200 when you're just waiting for the right decision here? All right, we're gonna give this back. They're gonna move on to some mores. And let's see where we stand right now. 2, 4, 5, that's 1,000. I'm just gonna say I'm up $1,500. So that's cool. So let's go ahead. Hundo. Yeah, Whalen's 410 place bet looks exactly like, it's almost like what I do, except it's more aggressive. Because I do the 410 place bet strategy at a minimum loss plus 5 after 3 7s have been rolled. So his looks like a continuation on a super aggressive site for that. And then I've seen his ladder and stuff like that. And you know, when it comes to strategy, like analyzing strategies from other YouTubers, that just creates a lot of bad blood unless you're KD. So you know, I do see his stuff. It's a very, very big statement saying the best crap strategy in the world. That's a very lofty statement just for anybody to say. But I will say this to anybody who does any strategy, including my own, is that you need to make $100,000 at home before you ever try to make $100,000 at a casino. And I've been the biggest proponent of that to every system, my systems. When someone calls me and says, I want to take your system and take it to a casino and make money, I'm saying, well, you need to see here and have you made $100,000 at home? Then you need to do that first. It's plain and simple. You go to college to get a degree, you go to the school of hard knocks to learn how to play craps. Dre, you still in here? My Boo Bear? T-minus 5 days till we meet. Boom, come out 7. I'm still waiting on a 777, so I'm actually gonna wait to the 777. 8. 7, 7, 7, 8, 7. That's pretty good saturation right there. All right, so once again, let's kind of do an analysis. I'm up $1,500. Okay, you know, where do you want to go with this? And see, a lot of people have this issue is that I can't tell you how many times on the Discord or someone talking to me, like, man, I was up 1,500 and then something happened, I left with up 200. I'm like, what happened? So let's just go ahead and do kind of a thought experiment here. So I'm going to just basically essentially knock my 20K. Means I'm just gonna put that to the side and not worry about it. And then I'm gonna play with this right here, okay? So this is kind of, I think, more everyone's speed. 1,100, 1,200, 13, 14, 15 and some change. All right, so I got a $1,500 bankroll. Let's go on, man, look at this on Jesse. Oh, love it. Love seeing all you guys. Oh, well, yeah, I can talk about it. It was really simple. I was on a brewery tour, because I drink a lot of alcohol. I was on a brewery tour. Now, the brewery tour is 8 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, January 12th, 2021, guys. So 1-1-2-20-21. So I was on a brewery tour, and it's a private one because I know the brewmaster, and essentially they did some incorrect things, and long story short, the still full of 141 or 121, 131 liquor blew up and doused me in moonshine liquor and burnt me up. That's it. All right, so we got $1,500. All right, I'm gonna see here now declare, because I've been doing such high betting, I've really declared a minimum. Let's do a $15 table. I think everyone here is pretty familiar with a $15 table. And we're gonna rock a $1,500 bankroll, okay? So in saying this, all right, I still have the 20,000, but this is exactly what I do at a real casino, and people who have gone to the casino can say this. Like, when you sit here and make profit, the best way to have the best time ever as a gambler and to make money is just play this. Now, like, you look at them and laugh. Like, ready, watch this. I'll show you exactly what happens in the casino with me. When I hit that 1,500 2K part, let me get 5 singles, dealer. Come on, dealer, give me 5 singles. All right? Gosh, man. It's almost like y'all are charging me time as slow as y'all go. Is there a rate? All right, so, right, I've made $1,500. I'm gonna take a little sip. I'm feeling a little good. Actually, I feel nothing. This is not enough liquor to feel good. All right, so boom, roll it out. Doesn't matter. 5. There you go. 5. Oh, ooh. 3 whole marinara, huh? Deuce, don't do nothing. 6. 4, first 4 thrown. Yo, 11. 10. 8. Hard wins. 8. Double 8s. 6 point. So watch this. So right there, I've lost 3 and 12 for $15, right? And you're like, oh wow, Charlie, like, that was kind of stupid. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It's just me playing around. Yo, 11, doesn't matter. It's all gentle. Boom. 10, second 10 thrown. I've lost $15. Savvy? Boom. $50. On a third unique point with a $15 loss. 4, 5, 9, 5. That is a 7 out. Made $10. $10, and in casino time that'd have been around 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So literally, based on that, my hourly is $60 an hour, and that was the least stressful I could possibly be in my life. Like, and this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, use your bankroll to make your life simpler, not make it harder. Right? More money should make this a simpler game, not a harder game. And now I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, more money, I'm risking more. You are risking more. But you shouldn't be risking more. You bring more money. That's another thing when I tell people, they're like, well, do you take $5,000 or do you actually chip and have $5,000 in chips in front of you? Like, I have every penny in front of me, action. Like, and that's just is what it is. Now, in saying that, how do you deal with dealers? I do a couple things with dealers. So gambit number 1 is dealers bet in stacks. They have stacks like this. So used to, I did 10% at the end of my session, I would tip the dealers. And I realized they love that, don't get me wrong. But I realized you don't get a lot of love during it if you do stuff like that, because they're like, well, you're gonna lose your money or something, it doesn't matter. So I do this thing now, is that basically I tip almost $1 every 7 out there is. And so for me, that's how I would do it, is I do $1 for every 7 out, I do $1. Then I play a game with the dealers, and I'll do it to myself. Let's see if me as the dealer can do this. So they have a stack like, usually like this. And I'll say, hey dealer, I need some singles. Here's 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, all right, dealer, hey, I have $1 that says you can't pull 13 singles. And you're like, all right. Boom. So you just tip the dealer $1 because they hit it. And I do that a lot. And then the next time I do that, I'll say, hey, dealer, same thing, just with the $5 stack. I'll take this. And I'll do it right now. I'll do the whole rip. Dealer, $5 says you can't do $65 palm. I'm like, all right, bet. That was way off. Way off, Charlie. All right, so I lost that one. Dealer lost that one. And then last but not least, I will sit here and do it one more time and say, dealer, $25 tip. And I always sit here and say, it says you can't pull $350 off the rack. Nope. I do games like that. I also have a standard rule that every time the dice are thrown off the table, tip $1. If a dice are rolled two dice in a row, like rolled off the table, next row, roll off the table, I'll tip $5. The third time, if dice roll off the table 3 times in a row, I'll tip a $25. And then usually by the end of the session, I usually tell a dealer like, hey, here's $50. I want you to run the ATS, right? All tall, small, yeah. ATS for $1 on the all for 50 shooters. And they'll do something like that, which is, cool beansies. So that's kind of what I do for everything. And that's generally what I speak with the dealers. And I'm really cool with the dealers, man, because I'm turning a lot of bets off and on. And if you are I'm not going to say a career craps person, but if you are how do I say this? DGE systems, in my experience, will let you be the longest player on the table for the most amount of time. Like, I've never met anybody in any other system that can last on a last on a craps table as long as I can. This is endurance. It's an endurance player. I mean, that's what DGE is, endurance play. So in saying that, the people you talk to the most aren't really the players, because players, generally speaking, and this is in my experience, an hour, 2 hours max is usually the time of a craps person. So I'm there for like 12 hours or 10 hours or 8 hours. So your dealers are the ones you're going to talk to the most. And I like the dealers. I've had bad dealers and good dealers, and I've talked to them both, and so that's just me and mine. That's my little mindset. And it's a good question. Good question. And if you guys got questions, ask, man, because I know that I'm not on here a lot right now. I'm going to be on here a lot more because I got the insulated shop now. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt outside, and it's 33 degrees or 36 degrees outside right now, and I'm comfy in a metal building with concrete floors, just with a t-shirt on, drinking. So, like I said, good times are coming. Once again, this $1,500 is profit. I'm going to play a little bit more on the $1,500 side, so $30, 6 and 8. And the reason why is because, like I said, guys, I want y'all to experience hey, Charlie's got 20K, so yeah, he's gonna make 3 or 4K or do something stupid because, X, Y, and Z, and it's not. Essentially at 20K, the minute I make $1,000 or $2,000, I'm playing with my profit, and that's it. I really don't touch my stuff unless it's really getting into some iffy situations, but still, I don't wanna play with your money. You don't wanna play your money, trust me. As much as you wanna see the dollar bills, you don't wanna play with your money. And so in saying that, I don't mind taking taking less profit but playing with a free bankroll than actioning 20K, absolutely putting max pressure. We're doing this 24/7. Let's go. Just don't. All right, so 7 out. Lose this. I'm going to just go to a standard $60, 6 and 8 working. Six pays 70. Time after time. Time after time. Seven out. All right, we're gonna turn this on. We get a little prep. You know what I did? So the challenge today is essentially I played a little bit aggressive to moderate. It's basically me just kind of messing around until Vegas, because I'm not going to play with 100K bankroll until they tell me I got a private table. So that's one. So I'm kind of just messing around, showing a little bit of you guys, like, you know, making sure that you guys got some videos coming out. And then also, I was going to try to show a recovery video, but what I did instead of a recovery video, since I didn't really lose money, is that I'm reducing to $1,500 and kind of chopping it. Let's just see. I'm going to try to take this $1,500 and get to like $2,000. So $1,500 to $2,000, $500 profit. I think that's a pretty good. 7, boom, turn back on. 12, turn back off. 4 is the point. You know what? We got a little bit of love. I know I just said they're playing it, but it's a job to play for real and fun to play for fun. I mean, that's a really huge question. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you gotta sit here and, you know, for instance, this little gambit that we're doing right now, I mean, pretty much I'm like, hey, you know, I'm preparing myself for Vegas. So nothing like wild DGE or something like that in the air. It's like, hey, you know, what bets would you make at a casino? What kind of action would you play at the casino? Where is this going? And stuff like that. So I got 325. Where when you're going to Vegas, where do you like to play? I don't care. I'll be honest with you. It does not matter to me. There is no preference over one table versus the other. The only thing I care about is the table minimums, maximums, and range. So I absolutely have no idea. The last time, believe it or not, guys, as crazy as it sounds, the last time I was in Vegas was hell. The last time I was in Vegas was 2014. The last time I was in Vegas. And the reason why is because a table is a table is a table. It doesn't matter where it is. And I say that because, I mean, I drive an hour and a half to Harrah's. They have a $15 table, 5,000 max bet, 10,000 max lay. There's nothing wrong with that. If I was going my absolute favorite casino in the country right now, it has nothing to do with the Bow. I love the Bow. But I usually don't go to Biloxi because I'm not allowed back at the IP. I'm banned from the IP, so I was like, But I love the Bow just because there's a place called Bear Creek. It's a golf course. SunTrust golf course is really good, and Bear Creek golf course is really good. So if I go down there, I usually do summertime golf weekends down in Biloxi. So, yeah. But my favorite casino of all time has nothing to do with anything other than the table range. I have never stayed there. I don't even know if the neighborhood's good, but it is the Shreveport, the Horseshoe in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's owned by Harrah's. It is a $10 min bet, 10,000 max bet, 100 X odds. So that, as of right now, is my favorite, and I've only played there one time. And the reason why it's my favorite is because of that range. 4, 2 4s in a row. If we get 3 4s in a row, it's pretty rare. 7 now, we didn't. And all I'm doing right now is just kind of pressing my profit a little bit. I started out at $60 6 and 8, and essentially, or excuse me, I had a $30 6 and 8 IP. Share the story. He bailed. No, my Colorado. It's actually not a super interesting story. Essentially, long story short, is that I don't know what I just did, guys. But 10. I know you just rolled a 10. Long story short, another 10. Roll 2 4s, and I roll 2 10s. You know, it's a symmetry. It's almost like a statistical likelihood of that happening. It's exactly the same for 4 as it is for the 10. Once again, it was my buddy's 50th birthday party, and it was a golf and gambling weekend. And so we spent the entire time drinking, playing golf, relaxing, eating. And by the time I rolled into the IP, I was pretty toasted. I was more than toasted. I was pretty out there. And at the same time, my buddy Paul, he was relying on me to teach him how to play craps, and I was just drunkenly saying, you don't even have to learn. Just sit next to me with your money, and I'll show you how to do this. And so essentially, played, and I looked at the table, and very confidently, I might add, was just if all y'all play the way I play, then no one's gonna lose money. And I essentially yelled, I will house every single one of your bankrolls if y'all play like me. Meaning I would buy all their bankrolls back for them and free roll it if they lose money doing what I did. And I essentially turned the entire table to do what I was doing because I drunkenly said I'll give it to them, and I had the bankroll to do it and all that stuff. And in a very short amount of time, 7 out, in a very short amount of time, that's $120. So we'll put that right there. We're gonna do a 156 and 8 working. In the very short amount of time, the people that were doing it made an extremely amount of money, which was super cool. And I saw suits talking, I saw people talking, and I was like, man, this is not gonna end well. And long story short, I gotta make sure that pays 400, 800, so 800 is a $20 VIG. So I'm just gonna do this, and get $5 back. Boom. And so, yeah, that was it. And so eventually Sue started talking, I kind of colored up and like walked away. My buddy was playing blackjack, and long story short, I looked at him and was like, I think I'm about to get kicked out. They walked up to me and said, you know, Mr. Blank, I'm gonna say my last name, but Mr. Charlie. I was like, hey. They handed me $800 in chips and walked me to the cage, cashed me out, and walked us out. Said, do not come back. And that was it. End of the story. Now, pardon me, the YouTube in me says like, oh man, I got kicked out because my strategy was so locked on. Realistically, I was a drunken asshole that basically said I was gonna buy everyone's bankrolls, and then I cost the casino like, I don't know, like 12 grand in the course of like 15, 20 minutes. And I wasn't even gambling. I just had to offset like pass and don't pass. I was just telling everyone else what to bet. It was not a good idea. So that was my whole IP experience. And it's funny though, because oddly enough, you know, talk about degenerate gambling. I took the $800 that the Beau gave me and went to the, $800 the IP gave me, went to the poker room at the Beau Rivage and completely blew it in like 6 hours in poker. Now, in saying that, that was the whole reason why I started the YouTube channel, Drunk Guy Explains, is because I was like, you think you're gonna pay me $800 and I'm never gonna play craps again or something like that? I was like, hell, I could explain craps better drunk than I ever could sober. And I was like, and I'll cost y'all $1 million for everybody who will just play the way I play at your casino without me ever being there. And that's the birth of the channel right there. There's the whole reason why Drunk Guy Explains. The only reason why I don't have a YouTube channel is because the IP paid me $800 to walk out the door. And I was like, boom. But that's it. That's my cool story. 2, 4, 5, 1100, so 1500. So we're still sitting around 1500, guys. Let's go ahead and get a little bit splashy with our $1,500 bankroll. And the reason why is we hit double sevens again. We've hit a lot of double sevens recently, so let's just see if we can't let it play. 8 for 175, really good. And boom, hits an 8. Now, am I gonna action 75 for 175? No. Am I gonna action all of it? No. So I just made 175 bucks. Remember, I'm right 1700. I only need $300 more. That's it. $300, $1,500 to that. So what I'm actually gonna, Charlie, I just said I was gonna do that. So I'm gonna do $18 6, $15 5, and a $15 9, the minimum. The IP can suck it. I mean, I was pretty hammered, and to give you a visual, I was in like some golf shoes, long socks, shorts, a visor, and a tank top. Like I was definitely looking the part of a just scrungy guy, but yeah, it's fun. Yeah, screw the IP, I mean, I don't care. Doesn't affect my day. It was just a very interesting story when it happened, and I was all pissy about it. And actually, side note for that, pumping out my truck on the way back from Biloxi. So I ended up getting a new truck too. So it was a very interesting weekend. All right, 7 out in between points. I'm not gonna do anything, but I am gonna sit here and offset the pass and no pass, just in case I'm gonna get froggy. 9. You know what? I am gonna get froggy. I made 175, and I want you to remember that. 175. 30, 45, $51. So I have $51 action. I'm actually going to press it, or not press it, but I am going to get a little bit, you know, over the top on the odds. So I'm going to do a 150 odds on the don't. And let's see if we can't press this up a little bit. We just can't get these numbers working for us. 5 pays 21. I'm going to press by 10 and the 6 by 6. Click back to 5. Take this down and turn these off. And the reason I'm turning these off is because I'm a degenerate gamer. No, it's because I'm trying to press up. I'm trying to actually build a little bit here. 7 out, it's a good reason I did. So still building, and I'm actually going to Charles, what am I going to do? Okay. I can grab all these. You can tell, guys, I'm out of crap shape for YouTube, and you know why? It's because my shoulder is starting to hurt from rolling dice. So I'm going to see you do this. And this is for the 4 and 10. Boom. This is the dice. Double boom. Put Chuck in charge. All right, so we hit a 7. I feel like we've done a lot on those dice, so we're gonna go ahead and put those out, drink a little chew, have a little fun. This is all profit right now. I'm just trying to take 1,500 and get to 2,000. Nothing out of the ordinary. So I'm gonna turn these on. That's a 4. And let's get a little froggy here, guys, shall we? Let's go and do a 150, no 4, 7 out. Okay, so this was all this, but just to let y'all know. So 150 pays 75, 2, 5, and yeah, we made a little bit off that. And let's see where we're standing here. 2, 4, 5, 12, 13, plus 5 is 18. So we just made another $100. We need still $200 to play. So we're doing really good. So only $200 left. We've gotten a lot of good rolls. You know, turning 1,500. I mean, what is that? What's 15? That's 33% profit. So I'm already past what I should be at for profit wise. I mean, 20%. But we're gonna keep doing it. You know, we need $200. This is a little bit more aggressive because it is, but we're gonna get a little bit wild here. And 7 out, that's what I get. So $85 loss. Let's go ahead, I'm gonna get, once again, a little bit more aggressive. 8 pays 175. So a profit of $90. It's a 156 and 8. Unless you want to just say it's $300, then I'll take 350, eh? Eh? All right, so that got hit. Point is an 8. So made it basically $100. So I'm gonna convert this 50 into reds again. And do, yeah, we're just gonna cover the inside. So made $100, 45, plus some singles. Yeah, we got some love here. Not a lot of love, but it's a little love. And we're just gonna let that play itself out, essentially. Oh my God, that looks so trashy. Ugh, yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That looks so trashy. I just looked at the screen and saw just this random piece of foam right here. No, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. No, we're not playing that game. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Take a drink. Boom. That's a 5, page 21. This is still all in profit, so I'm not gonna get too crazy here. We're just gonna turn this into a 25. And kick back the 11. Let's see if we can get some love here. 4 does nothing. That is a 7 out. Whew, all right, so. Yeah, let me tell you, 13, 18. So now I'm about 150 away. Well, if I'm 150 away, this is poor on my part, because you never are supposed to do this. You know, like, oh, I'm only X amount of away. Let me just make this one bet, get out of here and go home. You're never supposed to do this. So guys, I'm telling you all right now, you're never supposed to do this. 156 and 8 working. Okay, well, you still, you know, it didn't work out. It did work out. You're never supposed to do that. Just letting y'all know. It's not supposed to be a viable option. 2, 4, 5. Yep. 14, 15, 2,000. Sweet. All right, so we took 1,500 and mopped to 2,000 on the 8. Now, I want you, once again, guys, we're just gonna kind of put this in perspective here. It's 200. So now, 20,000 we start off with, made 1,500. Then I sat here and said, hey, I'm just gonna take 1,500, make 2,000. So now I'm at a $2,000 profit, all right? So once again, guys, you see how gentle that was? You see how easy that was? You see how I did not, there's no major crazy moves that you have to essentially do to have fun. And now, this is where I'm gonna call this actually, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna call this my fun time. This is absolutely my fun time. So we just hit a 7. And I'm actually gonna do the DGE, since Whalen is, a lot of people are using, or, you know, a lot of buzz has been going around Whalen. I'm gonna get rid of these dice. Ugh. Oh, I see a 7 there. Whalen's 410 thing has been doing a lot of things. So I'm gonna do DG's 410 thing. So I'm gonna start out simple. Actually, I'm not gonna start out simple, but I'm gonna do $25, 4 and 10. And it's 100% working the entire time. So no buying, no nothing. We're just gonna do 2 to 1, figure out the big later, okay? So let's see what happens. 7, lost 25, so come out lost plus 5. 6, 3, 8, 6.4 non-fields, 6, 5 non-fields, 25 on the field, 7 out, so let's make sure, loss plus 5 for that. It's 55 for those, so we'll move this to 60. Five that, 60, 8, 115, so 25, 11, 125, and people say I don't do my own field bet strategy. Come on, guys. 7 out, for 115. So we're gonna move both of these to 125. Notice that even for my strategy, I say wait until 3 7s have been thrown before you sit here and do this. And I did not do this. I'm actually starting out as an aggressive version of this strategy. But with 20K, you pretty much do this, I believe. Like, I don't know how many, I can't remember how many 7s when I did this initial calculation that I'd have to fade, but it's a pretty fair amount. And the fact that I'm doing this essentially with 2 sides of it, basically I'm declaring it takes two $10,000 bankrolls, I guess, to do this. Boom. And we're gonna bring this back to 25. I just lied, take this down. Until that 7 resets it, I'm not doing anything. 8, 7 out. So 125 lost. So 255. Six. 7 out. 255, so that's 510. So 515 to, should be 525. Compounding problems, guys, compounding problems, because you know I'm not doing lost, so I'm adding a little cheese to the cheddar. I'm interested, you know, I'm interested to see how this plays out. 525 is 1,050. And see, this is, so the DGE strategy is after 3 7s before a 4, you start progressions on one number, whether it be a 4 and 10. Now, if you have $20,000, obviously that's a whole different bracket, but, so that's 20,000. So we should have 22,000 right now. That's what we started this Gambit office with 22,000. So there's the 22,000. So now we're up 2, 4, 5, 6. We're up another $700 right there. Said guys, slowly and surely. Yeah, true. I mean, like I said, guys, like it's a very gentle thing. And like the thing about it that people do is like when like you're on the road and people have hit deer or hit people, I mean hit things, and they just keep driving, like they speed up. Like it's so nervous they're speeding. Like dude, just calm down. Shh, slow down. It's okay. It's okay. And so same thing with craps, man. Like it's just like, hey, slow down. It's going to be okay. Like I feel like just like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I should sit here and have like a DGE pamphlet, and when you open it up in big, bold, non-threatening letters, it just says, don't panic. Just don't panic. All right, so these, let's go ahead and get a little chew. Do you like the DP hedge balancing the 4 and 10, Biff? All right, so he's talking about the DP point being a 4 or a 10. I think what he's saying is like when the point's a 4, you know, point's a 4 or 10, I'll put, let's just say X amount. Let's just say, of course I don't have 300, get this, get that, and take one of these. All right, so actually, I don't know why I'm sitting here screwing around like that. 2, 4, 5. All right, so basically when the points of 4 or 10, you start about the 4-10 hedge system, which basically means I have 150 right here. If the 7 happens, it's a 150 payout, so I get to play with 150, which is 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 135, 130, 135. So right there, you want to do that. The first roll, boom, no matter what happens, scale down. So I take 25 here, I reduce this by 50. Second roll, take this down, reduce it by 100. Something like that. And so on. So for third roll, if nothing happens, take it all down, okay? So, I didn't get that, hold on. That's one of the, GG, that's one of the main reasons I like to find another one or several of your apprentices to have meetups with. Team play. Yeah, team play is a good one just to keep you like, hey, what's up, Waylon? Team play is really good just to keep you in turn, like, you know, basically, it's the devil's advocate. So if you're going with someone like if you meet up with a DG guy, like, you know, Don meets up with a lot of DG people. If you're meeting up and doing that, to me, the main purpose would be like saying, hey, don't make that bet. I'm telling you right now, used to in YouTube, I'd say, hey man, just stick to my levels, you're good to go. And now the experience of talking to all y'all, talking to more gamers than I've ever talked to in this channel, I can tell you right now, your main concern is not understanding a system if you want to play that. If you're playing my system, Waylon's system, since he's here, wagering this is system, it's not really the understanding of the system that can get you in trouble. It's actually, believe it or not, it's the player itself. And I say that to you as in every single person I've met doing a DG system, I ask them 2 questions. Have you made $100,000 at home? First answer is always no. Sis. I'm like, well, you're already not good there. Making $100,000 at home before you ever test any system, make 100,000 in any system at home first. The reason why is because making $100,000 at home, it's the volume of rolls versus the instances and situations that you'll be put in that makes you a better player. You will, in a $100,000 run, you will see weird things happen. You will see weird rolls happen. And how you adapt and overcome those make you a better player. That's why I say that for number one. Number two, what I've noticed about every single degenerate that's watching this or any person that does DG strategies, all of y'all do more betting than I ever do. I start out with minimums, I run with that, and I have a range. I start out with a minimum bet, I range it to the maximum bet. That's why I have zero qualms taking 10, 20, 30, 50K to a casino, because I'm not sitting here going to try to manhandle my bankroll at the level one. I just don't do that. And the reason why is because I have seen in my run to 100,000 at home and my run to 100,000 in the casino. So, and I've done it what, 4 times now? I've done 4 100K runs. 1 in real life, 3 on this stupid channel here. And you see shit, you see weird stuff. And every single degenerate I've ever met, every degen, every person, they always bet too much. They bet more than me. Like I said, that DG meetup had 20K, and I was the lowest scaled bet on the entire table with $20,000. And people, it's like, so that's my advice to y'all is that, you know, keep it low, keep it simple. It's a grind, treat it like a job, not a paycheck. Greed will kill you, all right? Stress and greed are killers. So, in saying that, on the 4 and 10, you know, I just explained what I do for the 4-10 hedge. Now, in saying that, a lot of y'all, and this is me talking to y'all on healthy advice, when I'm doing the 4 and 10 hedge, 20K bankroll. Now I got 23 or something like that, $23,000. But with a 20K bankroll, or with any bankroll, even for this, with $20,000 in my rack, the point's at 4, right? Savvy? You're like, okay, Charlie, you have $20,000, and you sit here, $20,000, and a point is hit. You have a $25 pass and don't pass, right? What do you think I'm going to do? Well, the answer is this: 200 with 15, 30 times that by 2 is 60, 75 plus that 81 in there. That's it. Either 81 across, or I'll do just like that. I keep it small. And the reason why you have to keep it small, at least if you're using DGE stuff, the reason why you have to keep it small is because this isn't your exposure. So let's, once again, since Waylon's here and he's a new YouTuber and you need to check out your stuff if you haven't seen him because he's fresh to the game, he's pumping out videos. So if you want new content, check his stuff out because it's new content, okay? So let's see here, and this is what I do with any strategy, including my own, okay? When I analyze a strategy, when you guys request me to analyze a strategy, it's called every bet on its face must be a good bet. Because just like when you're cooking something, if every ingredient is good, then you're starting out with a great recipe, okay? So let's look at this, okay? So look at my 3 components. My 3 components are the place bets, the odds, and then the contract bets. Technically this, but this is not contract bet, but you know what I'm saying, contract bets. Okay, so let's analyze this real quick. So part 1, analyzation, right here. What is my purpose for this? So right here, bad bet. First thing I say, you are not a bad bet. The reason why is because this can only be a wash, but you have a 1 out of 36 on the come out roll to hit a 12 to lose this. So why are you doing a bad bet here? And this is shekels. Okay, calm down, Rick and Morty. My schmeckles. So right here, okay, this is me explaining this. Charlie explained this to DG. I'm like, oh, DG, the reason why I do this is because I actually don't want to do the pass line bet. I don't. But I want to protect my don't pass bar. So you sit here and put this to protect this. So now instead of a 7-11, I'm sacrificing a 2-3 win, a 12 push, but I'm saving myself from the 7s, 11s. So that's why this is here, to protect this from 7s, 11s. So this right here, now in saying that, you're like, okay, so you're reducing your risk on a don't pass, which a don't pass, no matter what day, if the point is established, you are edged to win, a player edged to win the don't pass. So you're protecting yourself against a 7 and 11 and a push on a 12. So in saying that, not only are you taking a $50 investment that can only be 50% loss on a 1 out of 36 roll, only on a come out, that is the least amount of exposure you could possibly have if you're trying to run this gambit. So right there, I'd say, okay, you're only sucking out to 1 out of 36 and only on the come out roll. That in itself is essentially a wash bet. So part 2 is the place bets. Right now I have the inside. That's pretty much standard what I do. If you're at a $15 table, you can do 66 on the inside, or you can do 96 across, minus whatever the 4 is. If you're on a $10 table, 44 inside, 54 across, minus the 4 as well. In saying that, okay, so this logic right here, let's say if I did it from here on the $10 side, that means $10, 54 across from the 5 to 10, 10, 10, 12, 12, 10. I'm saying, okay, that's 5 out of 36, 5 out of 36, 4, 4, and 3. So right there it's 18, 21 out of 36. That means that every roll that rolls, if you're only looking to hit once, not press, not regress, not multiple hits, but you're only trying to hit one time, you are a 10, 18, 21. You are a 21 out of 36 favorite versus a 6 out of 36. So drop the 36 denominator and say, okay, I am a 21 to 6. Let's half it real quick and do some quick math. So that's a 10.5 to 3. Let's do it in a third. So you're almost a 3 to 1 favorite, nonchalantly. You're a 3 to 1 favorite, a little bit over, to win this bet. Good bet, okay? Now, what is the most common roll? It's a 7. Well, a 7 is 6 out of 36 versus all the others. We already talked about this. We're not trying to hit multiple times. We're not trying to press regress. We're just trying to hit once. So it doesn't matter that there's 6 units to win 1/6 of the units. It only matters about hitting once. So right there, we've already said 21 out of 36. Good bet to hit once. So keep it easy, Jesse. Love you, brother. Now, that's been covered. So once again, what are we working out for? The 7. So now we're coming into part 3. Part 3 of just this 4-10 hedge gambit down to the odds. Now, let's look at these odds. Right here, you have odds on the don't pass. I have the minimum, considering what I'm betting here, because you want to keep it small for protection if you do hit that 4. So right here, this bet is not really contingent on these bets. It's a factor of it. It's a, what's it called? It's a cause and effect, meaning that I'm putting this here because I'm putting that there. But in actuality, the relationship between these two bets isn't correlative. That means I'm not going from here and correlating to it. The amount is correlative, but not the bet. The bet is actually correlative to the 4, okay? Obviously, odds to the 4. So you're actually saying that this bet is pertaining not to these bets, the amount is, but it's to the 7. So let's look at this bet. Right here, as we know, for the 4 on the don't pass for odds, you're a 2 to 1 favorite to win this bet. So right here, you're a 2 to 1 favorite, you're a 3 to 1 favorite right here, and you are a 35 to 36 favorite here, okay? So, in saying that, when you take all 3 aspects, and I'll get to that, Biff, hold on. I'll get to the hard 4. So these 3 aspects, this is what, to me, analyzing a good system is how I would analyze this and say, okay, now what's the steps of the system since we have the structure? And after 1 roll, you can turn all of it off. And I do that sometimes for conservative DG. If you're doing moderate DG, you scale down. Basically, you roll once, scale down, because the amount correlates to the amount out here. And then after 3 rolls, you scale all the way off. Why 3 rolls? Because for 6 to 1, 1 out of 6 rolls is a 7. That means every 6 rolls you're expecting a 7, which is the mathematical average of hitting 1 out of 6. So in saying that, you're trying to get off everything as soon as possible. Now, in your mind, you're like, well, why are you coming down off this and just keep this going? The reason why is, once again, my bets are always a range of bets, starting at a minimum, working to the maximum, hence the big bankroll. So your actual exposure and your risk factor comes into play because you want to get this bet as low as possible because the biggest exposure is rolling a 4. 4 to a 7, 2 to 1. So you're still a 2 to 1 favorite to not roll that 4, but you still want to protect it in case you do roll a 4. So now you're allocating a bankroll preference in order to survive multiple rolls. And that's why my systems all play into the back door of my other systems, because if this gets banked and this gets made, you're sitting here playing into basically the anti-fire bet. You can play into multitude of systems that I have for the back door. And also, the reason why after multiple rolls, I reduce these down and reduce this down is because by the time you're on your third, let's say you're on your 3rd roll. That 3rd roll, there's nothing here to take. Let's say you're on your 2nd roll, there might be $50 here to take. Just depends on, or $80, doesn't matter. But you're trying to mitigate risk for the multitude of rolls here, just for the variance of a long roll system. So now, in saying all that, okay, so we kind of went through an overview of that little system, that little ditty, if you will. In saying that, someone had, let me check my chat real quick. I can tell you who. Biff. Biff said, why don't you sit here and put on a hard 4? And that's a good thing. And a long time ago, I would put stuff on hard 4 to correlate to this heavy pass, to kind of give me some insurance. Because you're like, in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm reducing a 3 out of 36 down to a 2 out of 36 because I'm backdooring this. However, if you look at this bet, what are you saying? You are now betting on a, and what is that? 3, 1, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1. So you're betting a 8-to-1 odd on a 2 out of 36, so 1 out of 18. So right there, your payout is not proportional. So you're losing money every time you win. On second thing is that insurance works. What is the foundation of insurance, guys? And I want you to think about this in life. The foundation of insurance is that you don't have the money to pay if your ride gets wrecked, okay? Insurance means something happens, business expenses. Insurance, you pay a little bit of your hard-earned money, aka your profit, in order for the worst case scenario to happen, okay? So in saying that, in the DGE system, if you are making your bets, if you're sitting here using a DGE system, because this is my system, and if you have my mentality about it, I can only tell you my mentality about this, is that the reason why I have a huge bankroll, exponentially big bankroll, is because I'm playing a range of bets. Now, in saying that, when I say last bet, best bet, you're playing to the very end, the pressure end of my system, to an astronomical situation, aka 10 fours or 8 fours before 7. It's astronomical. Your bankroll is your insurance. State Farm doesn't have an insurance policy for State Farm. Why is that? Why doesn't State Farm have an umbrella policy to protect their insurance company? Because they are the insurance company. They have the money to float that. So you're sitting here, look at this. You already have your insurance. So don't pay insurance when you already have your insurance, which is called bankroll management. Now, in saying that, what I've noticed, because when I was younger, when I was a young buck, I stay here and would play the hard 4 or 10, depending on it. What I've noticed over time is that you're literally nickel and diming yourself out of profits by putting, yeah, I know, James. You're putting your profit right here and it's affecting it, and you're actually cutting into your profit margin. And the only reason you would do this bet is because you're scared of losing all your money on the last bet. And in saying that, you should never be at that point anyway, because you can nickel and dime it back as well. So that is the huge, long-winded portion of that. Now, guys, have we made some money? Let's go ahead and do a little count again. That's 20,000, 21,000, 2, 4, 5. All right, so 1,000, 2,000, 24, 25, 26, let's just say 27, 2,700, so, I don't know, like 13% up. Not 2,000 yet. So once again, guys, I'm going to kind of not regress, but I am going to sit here and play, once again, switch back into, I did a moderate DG to start out with 20K. Yeah, I should, you know what, I should do that. You know what, let's do a little chat in here. But you know what, instead of doing chat, let's just go and do aggressive DG. So this is me going full force, aggressive DG. You've seen this a lot in the daily paychecks and stuff like that. Let's just see if we can't crack the bankroll and show a little bit of recovery. We've already done 1,500 to 5 and all that stuff. I still use the old DG, hard 4, late tour, across the board, using dice sets, risky, but it works. And that's the good news is that those 3 aspects that I told you, those 3 assets are good. You want to do the dice set, that's fine. If you want to press and regress, that's fine too. At least it's putting you in the best position possible to make an informed decision. But let's get a little chat going. It's a little moderate chat, or not moderate chat. I'm not doing chat. I'm doing a little aggressive DG. Let's see if we can get ourselves in a bad situation, okay? Savvy? All right, so let's go back to the red and black. I actually want to do, really? There's not 1 7 set here? Okay, so let's just do like this. All right, so 4 3. 5 deuce, 4 3. And the reason why I do this, guys, is just to signify a 7 in the roll, like a 0.7 out, which I just changed dice. I don't know, it's fun to change dice. If I can change dice. Oh, there you go, 6 1. And we'll just have that in there again. Okay, so let's see, you're gonna do this. So boom. Aggressive with a $22,000 bankroll, $22,000 bankroll, $300, 6 and 8, and it's working. 10, let's go 1,200 on a lay. That is a 4, and that's a 12. That's an 8, pays $350. Take the lay down. Reduce this to a 110 inside. And since we want check to come out, let's get a little check going, which means these are on, and we'll do a 4-1 set on a 6-inch board with a 0 balance on that, guys. 7 out, there you go. Chet in pure Chet fashion. All right, and so we won, let's just say $250. I'm actually gonna reduce it down to a 150 6 and 8 working because Papa didn't raise no fool. And I'm big about a big bet, followed by a regression bet, just who I am. I'm big about regressing. And then, you know, because you never want to, I feel like you just never want to keep action. Let it ride mentality and never want to keep that going as we go. Just went ahead and sat here and boom, popped the inside for 80. 9 pays 35. I'm actually going to sit here and take the 25, press it by 10. And the reason why is because I'm trying to pocket as much profit as possible, even though I'm pressing it. I know it's kind of counterintuitive to do it like this, but you know, this is just kind of, this is the way. This is the way. That's a 7, and now we're working. And once again, guys, if you, double 7. Once again, guys, if you ever sit here and look at me, I've told this the other day to someone else. I generally keep in my head, like every 3 single 7s, I'm looking for a double 7. For every 3 double 7s, I'm gonna look for a triple 7, and so on and so forth. It's just kind of a good abacus to keep in your mind, especially if you're sitting here playing with bigger amounts, in order to keep your account a little bit relaxed. And also, it will keep you out of trouble because you kind of wait for multiple 7s. So you're not constantly just shooting at the 7s. I only made a $50, by the way. $50 is what the profit on that was because I lost 300 in the roll beforehand. We're going to go ahead and do a 156 and H. We're going to get that on puck and put it right there. And it is a 7 out. 2 double 7s in a row. You got to remember that, guys. And we're gonna do a $300, 6 and 8. She is working. You know what? Because I'm a little bit sideways, I think the 9 is gonna be in there too. And let's see if we can't lose all of our money. And guess what, guys? The 9 is in there, and that is not. So let me think about this. That's not 350 though. That's 42, right? 25 pays 350 and 50. So there's 350, and then 50. Should pay 70. But never seen, oh, it happens. You'll see it. If you play craps long enough, you will see it, and you'll see 5 7s and so on and so forth. Points 9, made 3, 4 something out of that. So we actually are in pretty decent profit. We're filling up the rack with blacks, which is always a good thing to have. The only thing better than that is filling it up with pumpkins or whatever your 1,000 chip denomination colors are. I'm gonna keep these going and actually power press it. And if you excuse me, 8 is 35. I'm gonna press it by 12. And guys, as crazy as it sounds, I'm gonna have to leave my heated building because I gotta go pee real quick. Be right back. Might as well change sit too since I'm in here doing it. Chew. All right. shoot, boys. All right, sorry about that. All right, guys, let's see here and keep going, huh? 7 out. You know, I can only imagine the addiction of just waiting for long rolls, because I'm gonna tell you guys, I feel like I've never experienced, I mean, I've experienced like a few long rolls, but never the rolls I've been able to talk to. I use an old DG recovery, 1700 lay, $400, 250 yard insurance, so it does that. That is a big number, 1700 to make 100. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does do that. All right, so let's go ahead and do 5,000. I'm just watching. All right, so 2, 4, 6, 7. It's probably 3,000. What are we going to do, guys? All right, let me think about this. Oh, there it is. What are we going to do? Gotta think for a minute. Nah, I think we're just going to keep it simple. 156 and 8. We started with the 156 and 8. I think we should end with the 156 and 8. 4 is the point. Let's go ahead and get 700 involved on a lay. Seven out. That's why I did 700. Okay, so 700 is $17. So let's do 20. Get $3 back. And then 700, pay $350. Three sevens around. Next time, it's because as much as you guys like to say it or not, you know, just because a guy rolls 150 times the first time doesn't mean he's gonna roll 150 times the second time. I've had people every now and then track, ooh, there's a little snake eyes. That's 6. I'm trying to just figure out 8, 6, point. Let's go a little pressure. Let's see if we can't get ourselves in trouble. So let's just say a DGen saw someone made a 6. You're like, man, I'm up. $100 on the don't, because why not? Okay, well, that's a bad example, but still. That's about 25. There you go. Get even more trouble. 5. He likes the 5. They are feeling the 5. 150 odds on a no 5. 9. 4. 5. Okay. Okay. So a total of 275 lost. And I'm going to play like I don't care. So that's going to be a $300 don't. 12 push. 9. I really like the 9 too. Let's just do a $300 odds on the 9. 6. 6. Yo 11. Yo 11. It's a 9. And that should be 900 loss. Let's do 1,000 on the don't. It's a 9 again. I like it so much, I'm gonna do $1,200 odds. It's a 9 again. It should be a 3,100 loss, somewhere around there. So we're going to do to 3,200. That's a 9 again. Now understand, I'm just going to kind of show you guys. Let's look at my 2, 4, 5. So right here, out of all of this, okay, is at this level that I'm actually using my own bankroll, which is the 3,000 under the 3,200. And actually, 1, 2. So, understand that this is the first time that I've been using my bankroll, playing aggressive, because I already said I don't play aggressive. Now let's look at our situation here. We are at 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th point, the 3rd unique point. I like where I'm at. I like where I'm at. And I actually, you know what? The YouTuber part of me says I'd put $3,000 right here. But the craps player in me, Charlie and me, I'm gonna let it play right. 2, 4, 6, 7. And it is actually gonna be, this is incorrect, but this is $1,200. I know it's 2,000, but it's $1,200. Oh, 9, so I get 8 back. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. I can go ahead and take all this. And right here. And let's go ahead. $15 table. I had to think about it for a minute. 8. And let's go ahead and let's see if we can get ourselves into super duper trouble right there. And those are some huge odds, by the way. This is improper odds, but I want to get real sideways. 7 out, I didn't know. So I went to the max bet with 5. And then I did max lay or odds, which was 6, which is going to pay another 5. But dude, all right, in saying that, I want you to see what happened. $23,000, and I only had 1, 2, let's just say $5,000 left before when all this was said and done. So, and this is what I tell you guys. Okay, now let's look at the actual, the last odds thing is going to give me some pretty good profit, but understand that it's so much stress for no reason. You can just wait a little small bet. All right, so guys, we started out with $20,000. Let's go ahead and kind of finish this video up because I know we're going to open this up to some questions as well. So I know that's going to take some time anyway. So, start with $20,000, so 5, 10, 15, 20,000. That. Okay. And let's see here. Two, three, 4, 5. 25, 100. All right, so I made a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, $5,000, $5,855. So 20% would be 4,000. So I don't know, around 30%, something like that. 25%. 25% would be a quarter, which would be 5. So I made a little bit like 30%, 33%, something around there. It doesn't matter. I mean, but yeah, something around that 33%. But it's over 20%, maybe 25, over 25% too, because the 800. Yeah. So we did really good, guys. Good little video. It was a good kind of little representation of where we're going with that. And yeah. So you guys, all right, so in saying that, do you guys have any questions for me? I'm a little bit buzzed. I'm feeling pretty good. And yeah, I think it was a good practice session for craps too. Appreciate it, Will. You have a good one. I don't even know if people watching. There might be just 3 people watching this thing. Oh, 27. Jesus, guys. Guys, listen, 3 megs go a long way, but not for 27 people. Jesus. God. 27? Can we dial it down a little here? I mean, how many dice did we go through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dice. 7 dice? 7 person dice. Now, if no one's talking, I can kind of talk by myself here. I am going to Vegas. If you guys are in Vegas and see me, that's awesome. And this video is not going private or anything. It's going to be public. But watch out the first couple of days. Don't ask me why. They're going to put like, I don't know, 60 commercials in the first 30 minutes, even though it's like a 2 or 3 hour video. In saying that, I'm going to Vegas for another DG meetup. And then probably the next DG meetup later this year is going to be probably in Shreveport. Where do I send chips if I want to donate them to you? All you gotta do is email drunkguyexplains@gmail.com. I have a PO box if you want to do them. They just get featured. I'll be like, hey, thanks. It hits on my Instagram and stuff like that. Thanks for the chips. I always love them because this rack is essentially filled up with chips people give me. This $100 right here is from Don. That's pretty cool. So yeah. So anyways, a lot of times I'll keep talking until I roll out all the 6s. So let's go ahead and get this going. A big thing for me is, like, for instance, going to Vegas. Like, my fears, my concerns, X, Y, and Z. I really don't have a fear about losing a bankroll per se. The biggest fear is that essentially I'll waste money in poker. I don't know. Like, I really don't have a goal going in for craps. I just don't. That's just how I usually play. I just don't come in with a major goal like I'm going to make $20,000 this weekend. Like, nothing like that. Most likely, if I don't get any private tables, if I don't get any private film opportunities, it's just gonna be a standard 5K bankroll. I'm just gonna do that for multiple sessions. Anybody wants to show up can show up. I'm really excited to see Don, see Dre, see Jer, just the regular crew. I'm bringing a crew as well, or I'm bringing my friend. Then another one of my friends is gonna be there, so that's pretty cool. Like, another thing, in case, always people talk about, and this is just me talking out loud, a lot of times people talk about high roller stuff on YouTube, and I like to kind of, not squash, but I like to kind of quell a little bit of the rumor mill on craps for high rollers. Number one, I've never met a casino with any bankroll that limited anything. I've never seen that happen. I've never seen a casino stop my action as long as I'm legal, because once again, guys, in the community of craps, it is a negative EV game. There's impossible to win money in craps. So a casino's never gonna sit here and mark you out. I don't think they're gonna do that. I mean, they might kick you off the table if you're not betting at all, but I mean, X, Y, and Z, I think that's a really big myth. I am wiring in $100,000 to the casino, and the only thing they told me about that, Harrah's, when I went to wire them $100,000, they said, go kill yourself. No, they didn't say that. But they did say, they said, based on your player rating, which I don't know my player rating, I don't know what it is. They said, based on your player rating, we cannot justify you wiring $100,000 because your play doesn't dictate that. And I was like, how is that even possible? I freaking gamble all the dang time. 5, 10, 15, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, ooh, I wonder if it's losses. Yes, I am playing the WSOP. I'm putting in a couple of my employees for the WSOP, so I ain't going to be doing that. But I've never incurred losses, so that may be one. I also don't spend a lot of money in casinos. Like, I'll be honest with you, my friend gives me hell about it, but we just drink a little liquor first. I literally go to a Waffle House after a casino. I don't order drinks. I don't order food. I don't buy t-shirts. I mean, like, I guess technically they're taking money away from me because I usually always take a $1, $5, and $25 chip off the table and put it in my pocket for this. I already filled up the 1. I'm working on my 5s and 25s, so I'm gonna fill that rack up with nothing but, I guess, $2,000, or it's probably about $1,000. Probably have $1,000 in $25 chips eventually right here. Someone texted. There's a guy playing a $250,000 hand yesterday at Aria. Charlie's 100,000 small taters compare. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, in terms of poker, 100,000 ain't nothing. So, and I'm not gonna be taking 100,000 to the poker table either. Like, my bankroll for my poker fund is $10,000. So, so technically I'm taking $110,000, I suppose. But I'm a bad poker player, so if anybody here is in Vegas and they see me in Vegas, feel free. I'm a fish. But I will I'll charge you down the road to see here and show me what it is. So there's that. That's a weird little thing that people have talked to me about. I'm like, no, that's never happened. And then, you know, in saying that, like I don't have a player card with this casino I'm going to, so that was kind of interesting. I was like, hey, I don't have one. But I will say I'm wiring in 100K, and they are picking me up in a limo. They are comping me my room for the extended minute of time. But I did make a request for a private table, and they said, well, yada, 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 yada. I was like, okay, whatever. So I don't know if they're going to give it to me or not. I told them I'd wire in $300,000 if they allow me a private table. And I don't know, they didn't seem very receptive to it. I was told by the casino park MGM, they said, hey, you know, you wire it in, we're going to wire it back out. And I said, that's fine, it's wiring into my bank account, so I don't care. In saying that, however, I'm going to immediately get there and probably have to wire like another bankroll to another casino, I guess another 100,000, because I don't know if they'll let me like say, hey, I want to cash this out and take this over to Bellagio, or I want to cash this out and take this over to Fremont. I really don't know a lot of communities that have the video thing. So it would be really nice to video. It'd be really nice to film. And especially now, because this is going to kind of sound really greasy, but I could get kicked out of every single casino for filming in Vegas and it would not affect my life. Other than Aria and Bellagio, just because I like to play poker there and I want to play poker there more often. Not a big deal. So I do feel like there is going to be some videoing no matter what. And unfortunately, guys, I know it seems like this huge thing to video, and this is just my opinion about it, not really YouTube's or like a craps person, but this is just me as me. I mean, I don't really see the fun in videoing it. I will, because you guys want to see like in action, you want to kind of live through me, or want to see if like, hey, is Charlie actually making these bets? Is Charlie actually putting that amount of money on the line? Is Charlie actually laying X amount of money on the line? Which is completely understandable, because coming from me personally, I would never trust any YouTuber. I'm gonna tell you right now, I would never trust a strategy on YouTube, because unless I've seen it, ran it, rolled it, even then I probably wouldn't believe it, just because I just wouldn't. I'm a very suspicious person. YouTube is the land of like, you know, suspicious things. Like for instance, like, you notice when I do my live videos, I never let the dice leave the table. I always pick random dice. Because in my mind, if I was watching this channel, I'd be like, how do I know these dice aren't loaded? How do I know when you roll dice off the table, you're just saying it's a whatever? Ooh, Plaza. Thank you for telling me that, old school craps. How do I know that you're not manipulating the camera? That's why also pre-recorded videos I'm very suspicious about on YouTube. And the reason why, because I can sit and record a session 17 times over to get the results I want, and just keep deleting, re-record, delete, re-record. So I'm a very big proponent of like, I don't believe anything. That's why when I do my challenges on YouTube, when I do my live stuff on YouTube, I'm like, hey, it's gotta be live, it's gotta be in one session, and it's gotta be in full view. I wanna see dice be picked up, thrown, inland, no cuts, no weirdness. And that's just me and my paranoia. And I think that that's a pretty comfortable paranoia. And even people, for me, like I was like, hey, I wouldn't trust anything Charlie tells me until I do it myself. And that's why, once again, I backdoor and say, hey, you need to make $100,000 at home before ever going to casino and making $100,000. So that's pretty much like my spiel. I don't think there's any other weird like things. I'm sure there will be things popping up. But one of the things I was kind of freaked out about, and I don't know about you guys, but it was like, you know, transferring $100,000. I think they're gonna figure out after the first day that like I'm not actually $100,000 in blackjack, roulette, poker, something like that. So I did make a stipulation with my host. I'm like, y'all can't kick me out, right? Like I'm guaranteed for 3 days no matter what. So I don't think they'll give me the same accommodations twice, if that makes sense. So that's my little prediction. But other than that, you guys got any questions, any concerns, anything you want to talk about, any strategies you want to talk about? Because I'll do it right now. I got time for like 1 or 2 more questions about strategies and stuff, and we can see here and I can tell you guys. You just gotta let me know, and I'll answer it. I guess while we're doing that, I can just sit here and just roll a little bit. Actually, you know what? You know what I can do while I'm sitting here answering questions? Because I have a $20,000 bankroll. I should say $100,000 bankroll, but I don't know if they're gonna give me a private table. I know exactly what I wanna do though. So I'm gonna take this right here, take 2,000. Something I've been wanting to do, and this actually will probably take a hot minute to do, so I don't mind doing it. It's 5,000, 1500, 1600, 17, 18, 19, 25. Boom, boom, boom. A good beginner strategy. Nick, are you talking about one of my strategies or just a beginning strategy in general? Oh, this is gonna be so fun. All right, why did I think that? Is it 1600? Yeah, it's 1600. Yep, either or, Nick Booth. All right, so if I was you and you are a beginner craftsperson and learning a new strategy, to be honest with you, it's on my channel, it's on the playlist, it's the 7-7 press, and it's very simple. It's basically on the first point of any new shooter, just work the 6 and 8 on the inside after 2 sevens. And if you hit it, take it down, turn it off until it does again. That is the simplest, boom, 2 bets. You need to count sevens, and everyone knows when the sevens come because they either 7 out or come out 7. So that's a really easy, right there, stick it right there, that'd be good. That would be me. If you want even something that's even more conservative and even more slower, you can look up on the same DGE Craft Systems playlist and do the anti-fire bet after 2 or 3 unique points, depending on your bankroll. That's also easy because it's only pertaining to the don't pass bar. The 7-7 press is pertaining to the 6 and 8, same thing. So, all right, guys, and feel free to keep answering questions because, all right, so not any 7, but we're going to do the hop 7s, which is a 15-to-1 payout, and I'm just going to put it right here, signifying the any 7 hop 7 payout. And we're going to get this going, all right? So, boom, 1 loss. That's stage 2, 3. And you guys got any questions as we go? All I'm doing is the hop 7 strategy. I rarely use it, and so I always like to do it because it's fun. Doesn't matter, 5. We're going to keep this rolling pretty consistently here. 5. Actually, I don't even need to do that. This is only pertaining to a 7, so we don't have to worry about anything else. So, 7. 2 things that you're gonna find. 7. So we're gonna take one of these out. That's gonna pay 15 on that dollar. And I'm gonna sit here and do now a 2-2-2, which is a 6. It's a full press. That's 11, you lose it. And it's a reset. Love the DG play, Charles the best. Learn well Grasshopper, I know, right? Did Uncle Angelo come up with the hop 7? I don't know if Uncle Angelo did. I've never watched any I've never watched. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a really horrible YouTube craps guy because prior to making this YouTube channel, I've never watched any craps YouTube stuff. So I don't know if Uncle Angelo, I know that I came up with this progression, so I don't know if other people have hop 7 progressions. I have no idea. So I honestly have no idea. But the only time I really watch any kind of YouTube videos about craps is if someone sends them to me, like, what do you think about this? Or like if you want to do some kind of analysis. I know some people like my analyses, but obviously it's not, you know, I don't know, it's not like people are like beating down my door. And for me, like, I'll be honest with you guys, like, it's also not pertaining to the fact that even though there's a bunch of people watching it, which is amazing, I'm pretty much, if I had to compare myself, I'm pretty much right in line with like King Dice in terms of hatred in the craps community. Like, you guys are awesome for like watching and viewing, and if y'all use my strategies, it's amazing. If y'all just take this as a learning experience, it's also amazing. But, you know, I am pretty generally hated in the craps community, and that's nothing against them, it's all on me. And the reason why is because people have really big issues with don't players. Also, my kind of playing, people have huge issues with. So that's level 1. Let's go to here. And that's just, you know, I can't do that. Like, I mean, I was on Pro Craps, did a 24/7 craps marathon, was amazing. In saying that, 7. See, there you go. See, this so 15, that's 75. And boom, that gets paid. I love my little 7 gambit. I think it's such a cheeky little girl. So the 7 gambit is essentially like, you know, you do 3 lanes on each betting amount, each betting level, and you can work it all the way up to I think a 400, 400, 400, or a 200, 200, 200. And essentially, once you hit, you retain all your profit back plus all your money back plus a little profit. And then if you hit 3 or 4 7s, you're talking about exponential profit. So that's what I'm doing essentially. See, like I lost that. It didn't matter because it just resets down, which is pretty cool. Like I like that. So I think I actually did make some more money with it. Let's just see. Actually, I did this progression on a 20K bankroll, so I can actually tell you right now if I actually made money or not. 18, 2, 4, 5, 15, 16. So even in that little game, I made 10, 20, 30 bucks. 30 bucks in that very small time. We didn't even get heavy into it. You know, I started at the $1 level and the $5 level, so that was pretty good. Is there any other questions that you guys have for me? Gambling questions, craps questions, personal questions in terms of craps as one of my strategies or something like that? You know, I really try to answer as much as possible. And not because I'm trying to listen to my own voice, because I can do that any day of the week. It's mainly because I really feel, this might be me a little bit tipsy, but like I really feel that every person in the craps community should get educated at least on the math on it, and not so much selling someone on a free system, because I do my system for free because there's no point charging for it. It's not like it hurts me or helps me if y'all are making money or not making money in craps. That's kind of like my little 2 cents about it. I'm personally not a big fan of people charging for anything, like in general. I just don't feel like you should charge for craps. And the reason why is this, and this is kind of my 2 cents. It's kind of a little bit of a ramble. This is my 2 cents about it, is the fact that if someone, and I'm sure you've met craps people like this in the past, if someone's claiming that they're making X amount of money in craps every time they go to the casino, or they're this successful in craps, okay, well, let's just say you're a millionaire. You've made $1 million in craps. Congratulations, you are a badass, right? Why are you millionaires don't sell newspapers door to door. Just don't. Why? It's an allocation of time versus the money they can make spending their time elsewhere. So to me, when I sit here and listen to someone saying, I made $1 million in craps, but for $5.99 you can subscribe to my boom. How do I deal with people getting mad that don't? Well, Daniel, to be honest with you, I look young I'm in my 30s, but I look very young. And essentially, I just tell people, I'm like, hey man, like I always equate my bets to food. And that's an easy way to kind of put everything in perspective and to be a little bit jovial about it. Like for instance, I'm like, someone's like, man, you're gonna put $400 on the donut. I'm like, yeah, that's an Xbox. Or, you know, hey, that's 360 McDoubles with tax. And so, you know, I figure I can either eat for free for a year or just go broke. You know, so I do it all in joking and stuff like that. So it's very much a joking, I try to keep it as joking as possible. I sing a lot, I'm very animated on the craps table. I'm usually a show, quote unquote. There's always a show when I'm on the table, just because, not in a mean way, just because, you know, I just make it a show, you know, make it comical. I just do it to entertain myself, essentially. But yeah, so, you know, when people sit here and talk to me, at least, in terms of the craps thing, and talk to me in terms of, I forgot where my train of thought was going for that. Oh, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, guys, like I said, if you're a millionaire and you're claiming you've made $1 million, or, you know, you're so successful, you've never lost in craps, why are you trying to sell a system? I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a business owner, and this is something for y'all. I think that most of y'all are older than me, so I'm not really saying this but if there is someone younger in their 20s or 30s or even their 40s that are doing stuff in craps and they're trying to do a hustle, a grind, I commend you in your hustle. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. And this is actually real talk. This is not kidding aside, this is real talk. I bought my first home. savvy. I put the down payment in my first home with the money I've made in craps. And I used to swing big. I'm like, hey guys, you see this home? You see this? I put a down payment on this home and it'll be craps money. You don't have to work, okay? And I used to say that a lot, I really did. The problem with that is now I'm on my second property, okay? And now I tell people, I'm like, okay, like my first home, down payment, right, in craps, successful, right? I made it. I paid for my second property in cash off the business I've grown. So in saying that, when I look at craps is good for passive income. Craps is also good if you're retired, and you want a little bit of more passive income. That's also really good. But to me, and this is why I don't charge, this is why I don't sit here and phase me, this is why a lot of times on DGEs for the meetup, if they say, hey, I really want to play your system, but I don't have the money to do this right now, I say, hey man, I'll house your bet. That means you can't lose. And don't pass craps. He came in there and he had a smaller bankroll. I said, dude, you can't lose. I said, if you lose your money, I'll give you your money back off my bankroll. Because I mean, as long as you're following my bets, I don't care. And I'm saying that to you guys in the sense that I'm confident in my system and I'm not charging for it. I don't have to tell you what to do. There's no special way to do this. This is for free. I'll answer any questions you guys got. But understand, that's my approach to this game, my approach to teaching people about this game. I have a passion for it. I'm good at it. And there's no reason why I can't tell y'all, because it doesn't cost me a dime. I'm just playing craps because I like playing craps. So to me, I got kind of get a salty taste in my mouth when people charge $1,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a weekend to learn how to dice control. I'm like, listen guys, like it's a zero-sum game. Or it's not a zero-sum game, it's not at all. No one has to lose for you to win. So to me, you know, when people have to pay for systems, and I'm going to, and for the first time ever on a channel, I am going to say this, is that King Dice charges for his weekend classes, right? But I've noticed, because I do follow King Dice on Instagram, I noticed that every month or so, he comes out with a new throw. He comes out with a new strategy, I guess now. And he does all this stuff. And you know, like all these people on YouTube, say every month there's this new thing. And I'm like, I've consistently won money on the same system over and over and over again. If you notice, guys, the same stuff I was doing 2 years ago is the same thing I'm doing now. It just is, because it makes money. It consistently makes money. It always makes money for me, but I'm going to say consistently for you guys, because I don't want y'all to say and be like, because you guys bet like wild banshees, like you're sitting here on a weekend bender in Vegas after a rail of coke. You guys are degenerate gamblers. But in saying that, like my stuff hasn't changed in 2 damn years. On that now, just talk about people. I just say either I'm doing conservative, moderate, aggressive, which is the same system. I'm just waiting longer for certain parts of it. That's it. Just more waiting. So I'm not saying that to bring out people. I'm doing it not to call out KD either, because I mean, if he's a business person, he's a business person, and he's going to sit here and market, sell, and promote a business. I've spoken to the man. His claim, and this is me talking to him, my voice to his ears and his voice to my ears. He says he wants to create do you stick with the same? No, I stick to the same strategy. I mean, I do all 7 strategies. So that for y'all kind of cherry pick my strategies, but I do all 7 strategies. Field, 5-9, 6-8, 7-7 press, anti-fire, lay 4 and 10, and I think that's like all, and then a couple other ones, I guess. But I do all. The only ones I don't do I say consistently, aka what systems do I do that I don't really show a lot? The field bet, just usually because I'm always doing other things and I just don't get around to it. Because I usually try to keep in my head the last 15 points and the last 30 rolls inside my head. So, you know, there's a lot of things mulling around in there when I'm doing my own stuff. And a lot of times nowadays when I'm playing craps, I'm usually always talking or teaching somebody next to me. So that's always another thing, that if I'm like by myself doing something, I'm doing all my strategies. But I think there's 7 in total, maybe 6, can't remember. No. So in saying that, you know, I'm not taking away from King Dice and whatever gambit he wants to do. I just personally, and this I've said this since day one, I just personally just don't believe you should be charging. And once again, you know, this dice throw thing, like I just now recently spoke to someone who spent $4,000 on a weekend seminar for dice throwing. I cannot remember who it was. I know who it was, but I can't remember who he paid to do it. But in saying that, and let's just not take anything out of this, okay, guys? Let's not take anything out. And I wasn't gonna, I was like, oh, that's amazing. Hopefully that improved your game. Because I'm not trying to get involved telling something. First of all, no one wants to be told they're wrong. No one also wants to be told they spent $4,000 talking to someone who thinks that there's no validity to that. Because, I mean, it's just being rude. So I talked to him and I said, well, did you get a benefit from it? That's the question I asked him. I said, did you benefit from that weekend class? And did you learn about craps, or was it mainly throwing? He said it was mainly throwing, which I think is kind of crappy, because if you're gonna charge to throw dice, you might as well start teaching them about other things about the game. But I asked him, and without me ever saying what my strategies were, that a YouTube channel like that, we're at a poker game. I was like, that's really good. So how did it benefit your game long term? He said, well, Charlie, for it, and it'd take me 2 months to practice, but even now it takes me about 2 hours of throwing to warm up to that. And generally speaking, if you're a dice influencer like myself, you need to be practicing 2 hours a day, and on top of that, it usually still takes between an hour and 2 hours to warm up on a table, to understand the bounce of the table. And in saying that, in that huge thing that I just kind of explained to y'all, the fact that you sit here and have let's say it does work. Let's say that dice influencing does work. And let's say that you have paid for a seminar class and it has benefited you. If it takes you months of everyday practice to understand something, and it takes you 2 hours or an hour or 30 minutes or 17 shoots to get warmed up to do a role that only affects an SOR very negligently, that to me is still a waste of time allocation versus strategy management. And that's just me kind of get on a. I felt for him, because you guys, it's going to take you 2 hours to make a bet to be profitable. That's a pretty tough call. And on top of that, like, DGE works when you're sick or not. DGE works if you're shooting or not. DGE works when you're a random shooter or not. And here's the thing about this, is that you might be a great dice influencer. Well, that means that you're only betting on your roll 1 out of 10 shooters. And then if you're not, then you're trying to rely on someone else's dice influencing to mitigate your gambling. And on top of that, you're not even gambling from random shooters. And so, at least with a DGE system, if you kind of take it to its brass tacks, you're like, well, Charlie does it for the don't and for the do. He plays both ways. So, in saying to you guys to watch out for, and I tell people for private lessons, and this is talking to Biff, private lessons, join the Discord, and I still wouldn't charge for private lessons. There's been times where I've Skyped with people and just talked to them. Just, hey, man, let me know, and we'll figure out a day and figure it out. And in terms of bribing and charging, I told Don this, and Don has not came true with this. He's going to, though. I guarantee you this. He's going to when I get to Vegas. Is I tell every person that does my strategy, is that if you make $100,000 at home, that's amazing. Then you can go to the casino. Once you've made $100,000 at a casino, in general, I have one requirement. My only charge is that if you see me in the future, please buy me a drink. That's it, one drink. So I guess I do charge, guys. It's a $4.99 drink, because I usually just do rum and Coke or Crown and Coke or White Russians, or a $4 or $5 drink, and that's it. But in saying that, that's just me kind of getting on a high horse. I'm not sitting here to do this, put down KD at all. I'm just doing this to say, like, I think that personally, that you shouldn't be charged for craps. I think that YouTube should be a little bit more people who play craps on forthcoming. And I'm gonna say this, guys. I have 1,751 subscribers. I range between $87 and $115 a month. And it's kind of ironic that if you look at that kind of metric, so now you can base that's on YouTube advertising. I advertise every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes there's a commercial. That's my metric. There's people that do more than that. I'm sure they make more money than me. People who do donations, I'm sure they make more than me too. It doesn't matter. To me, once again, business versus pleasure. I'm not here trying to make money on YouTube. Now, in saying that, okay, if you notice for a lot of the smaller YouTubers, you notice that their bankrolls are $200, $500, $200, $500, $200, $500. That's them using their YouTube metrics to provide bankrolls, which is an amazing thing if you think about it. If you're a gambler, I promote all of y'all to start a YouTube crap channel. Why? It's passive income. Now, in saying that, I'm fine with that. I think that's a hustle and it's amazing. But the way that some channels portray their bankrolls bankrolls, they make it seem that they're just making all this money and they only want to play with $500. And that to me is a little bit sideways. I think that's a little bit, you know, it's a little bit nefarious. I've talked to Color Up. I've emailed Color Up and talked to him, and I was like, I want to do a video with you. First of all, he had a 20-roll challenge. I messaged him, I was like, hey, I want to do that. And he said, actually, Charlie, and this is what I can, if I want to screenshot, I guess I can screenshot the conversation so I can show y'all. I said, hey, I'd love to do one of your challenges just because, you know, love your channel and just want to do it. And Color Up messaged me back and said, Charlie, I love your channel, but I would rather with you play like an hour with you versus 20 rolls because I love the way you play. I love to pick your ear. Let's do something like that. I said, okay, cool. I didn't think about it a lot. And then a couple months later, I messaged him like, hey man, let's do that. Let's do an hour-long video. Let's do it for $5,000 or $15,000. And he messaged back like, Charlie, I mean, I really don't do that. I really don't do those numbers. You know, because so Color Up is staying true to himself. He's like, hey, this is the banker I use. I was like, oh, well, I mean, okay. And he said, Charlie, I'm a family man. I'm a family man. I have kids. I'm not going to sit here and I wouldn't play the casino with $5,000. Just not. And that's a lot of respect to him. He's like, hey, he understands this is his range. This is why he's doing it. And X, Y, and Z. So, you know, for that, I'm like, oh man, fair enough. Fair point. Fair point. Because I am a bigger bankroll. But, you know, some other people, for instance, I've heard stories of YouTubers, I'm not going to say who, but I've heard tons of stories of YouTubers being found while they're playing craps, and they're on their YouTube channel playing for $1,000 or $1,200 6 and 8, and then you go and they're playing on a $5 table. I had to stop going dark. That's awesome. And yeah, me, I'm not, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've played on a hybrid table all of like 3 times in my entire life. 11 years of playing craps, and I've played maybe 3 times on hybrids. I don't play hybrids. And the reason why is for the same reason of anything else. I inherently just don't trust a lot of that stuff. All right, so I got time for like one or two more questions. Hopefully people are watching. 26 people are watching. Do you guys have any other questions about craps, casinos, YouTube craps, casino craps, hybrid tables, odds, math? Any of that stuff before I mosey on down the road here. And the reason why is, like I said, guys, like, you know, I know I went on a huge rant about that, but that's just where I stand on a lot of this stuff in terms of just, you know, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by full hearts, that's true, you know. I just don't want any of y'all to get fooled. Even for me, don't get fooled on me either. I mean, I'm not putting myself above any of this crap. Like, if you guys, like, don't get fooled by DGE. Run your bankroll, run it to $100,000, do it all at home before you ever go to a casino. You should never watch a strategy and then go immediately to a casino. So that's just different, you know, that's just my opinion about it. Let me know, guys. Let me know in the comments below. I'm just kidding, not in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell button so you can get notifications, because it's only been about 280 days since my last live video. Mark did have a question. I'm going to answer that. We're going to start doing at least a live video every week. And the reason why it took so long is because I had contractors in my metal building. First of all, let's just kind of knock some couple things out, guys. First of all, it's cold as crap, okay? So for a while there, I made a statement saying, I am not going to do another live video until I get internet. And then a couple of months went by, I'm like, oh man, I guess my internet's not, Starlink, you know, Elon Musk is kind of dragging his feet on my Starlink internet. So that's number one. Number two, by the time I realized that Starlink was dragging their internet, I was like, you know, it's so cold out in this metal building. I'm literally just gonna freeze to death with my thin old person skin because the whole fire thing. And so then I made a decision to say, okay, I'm gonna fully insulate, spray foam insulate the entire shop and put a split unit out here. And that just happened like 2 days ago. So I just moved everything back in, and now I'm sitting comfortably. Well, I got a hoodie on now, but you know guys what I'm saying. I'm sitting comfortably in my shop. I can make these videos, but the internet's still kind of crap. So kind of crappy, but whatever. So yeah, so that's the reason why there's a huge lag right now. And then on top of that, when I do recorded videos, I have nowhere to upload them. Like I have to go to a friend's house and allocate a day to go to a friend's house and upload a video, because my internet, to give you a for instance, it takes me about an hour and a half of my internet to upload a 5-minute video. So you can kind of scale that to these videos that I make. It's just impossible. But literally, I've tried it before, do a 20-minute video and like just say, okay, it's gonna take all day or all night. And it literally will get like halfway through and it'll like flutter and just not upload. So that's another thing that's like pretty crappy. So yeah, so we're kind of waiting on a few things, guys. But And in saying that, guys, I'm also like I record all my stuff on an iPhone. Like, there's once again, guys, I'm not trying to make $1 billion on YouTube. So like, I'm not sitting here putting any money into this thing. There is a $30 microphone that is literally attached to my. Well, that's weird. That seemed a little weird. Huh. Okay. Oh my God, my microphone has not been working the entire time, guys. Damn, I can't believe my microphone hasn't been working. I'll fix that later. Anyways, doesn't matter. I guess I can do this. Why is it doing that? Why is it? Just gotta raise it up. Is it the mount itself? It is, the whole mount in there. Huh. I'm going to buy another one of these. So, actually I can just do this. There you go. I'm sure the audio is better than that after 2.5 hours. Not bad, guys. Didn't realize the audio wasn't working. So anyways, like I said, this is an iPhone that I use every day, and then this is actually my old iPhone from last year that was in the fire. This phone was in the fire, and I use that to watch the comments. Like, it's a cheap rig. So I think I've spent an extra 45 minutes answering questions. I don't see any more questions popping up. So let me make sure in case there was like a question I just didn't see it. I don't think I do. Cool. That's my bad, guys. You should tell me that the mic was working. I can't believe 2.5 hours and you guys didn't tell me my mic wasn't working. So, whoopsies. No wonder you're getting so much bad reverb. My bad, guys. Hey, in pure drunk guy faction, zero effort. I'm like the anti-effort. All right, cool. How long have we been doing this? About 2.5 hours. All right, that's enough time. All right, guys. Well, I see that we have 2 likes. I think Charlie's going to like his own video. I appreciate everything you guys do. It was a fun rip. We made like $3,000. No, we made $5,000. So that was really cool. $5,800 on that. You guys have a great night. Just try. Ooh. Hey, I always want to do a check-in real quick to make sure I'm not going bald in the back. Hold on real quick, guys. Nope, still not going bald in the back. Still doing good. Long hair as always, but hey, good job, Charlie. All right, we're still not bald. All right, cool. Guys, it's Charlie from Drunk Guy Explains. I'll check you guys next time.